can reflect back to being a player with and manager of some of the finest players that have ever been in the game.
Hotspur America. From the United States to N17, this is the original US-based podcast dedicated solely to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club.
When you're at a club like Tottenham, they expect you to win all the time. Be the best club in the country as far as I'm concerned.
Coming to you each week during the season.
Spurs in full cry here. Lamella! Oh, what a goal! And Christian Eriksen has scored!
I hate Arsenal. I just hate them.
Oh, what a goal! And Cafu has put Tottenham in front! Kane comes to the Emirates, scores for Spurs.
We're the Yids in America.
Carried away, but Dukes is there to tap in!
To dare is to do.
Tottenham Hotspur turning on the style. Glory, glory night at White Hart Lane. The Spurs are still marching on.
This is Hotspur America.
Season 4, Episode 13 of the Hotspur America podcast. Holy shit, what a week, man. Absolutely just amazeballs. A draw against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. First time in 14 European matches, goodness gracious, I still can't talk, that they haven't won at home. First time in 14 European matches. They have not won at home. And we did that. Our team went out there and did that and looked every bit the prospect. As always, the Hotspur America podcast brought to you by the Community Beer Company. Try one of their Mosaic IPAs or Public Ales. It is the perfect pub pint to share with your mates. Also follow the Hotspur America podcast on social media, Hotspur America Pod on Instagram, and just search Hotspur America on Twitter and Facebook to find us there. Joined by Sam today. My friend, how are you?
My man, two things are consuming my world today. I'm learning, number one, how to live in a world where the Tottenham Spurs are really good, and not like really good, like temporarily, like really good and really good for maybe a long time. Yeah, and then I'm also concerned, along with many, many people who probably live around the Merseyside area, searching for the soul of Emre Can that Dele Alli stole today.
Totally nutmegged him,
man. Great. God,
twice.
brutal.
I think twice.
God,
and
just terrorized him.
Someone else got nutmegged too. By, was it Vertonghen that nutmegged?
Kieran Trippier had the tasty Timmy 10 pints skill today, didn't he, Pints?
He certainly did.
Tim's joining us today too.
What did you say when he
us.
did that? What did you say when he did that?
When he did what?
When Trippier did that drag back. Come on.
I said that's one of my few skill moves that I have playing center back in my indoor league.
You're like, hey, that's my trick. That's my trick.
I got like two moves, maybe three, and that's one of them.
Man, we had a good time.
I can kick the ball.
Oh, we had a good time at the pub today.
Yeah, we did.
Spurs beats Liverpool and draws big clubs at the Bernabeu.
You know, Simon and I did a show a few weeks back where it was just he and I. And he asked me to go through this time period of matches all the way through, I think, Arsenal, and you know, just give a quick, brief win, loss, draw prediction. And I pegged this as a loss. Tim and I were, I don't know how else to say it, Tim. Tim and I were having a pee next to each other in the loo after the match, and it kind of came up that during our entire streak of fandom, we have never beaten Liverpool. Like, for as long as we have been fans. So I became a hardcore, and this is my club, and this is the badge I will wear the year after Bale left. And for Timmy, it was the year prior. So we had not beaten Liverpool since before then. So for
Get out, really?
Yes. So this is one of those new ones for he and I. And
we were all together.
We were all together.
Yeah, last time we beat them was fall of 2011, and I started watching spring of 2012 towards the end of that season, and fall 2011 was the last time we had beat them. So I have never seen it happen.
Yeah, we kind of mentioned last week, you know, this is one of those clubs. It's like the bugaboo club for us. It's almost like the Wembley curse on top of Liverpool, and I just closed my eyes and just squeezed them really hard and just said, we're going to lose this. And that's what I told Simon. As this match got closer, I knew that Liverpool their struggles, defensively. Lovren, I guess he was playing with a bit of a a knock or whatever, and it, boy, did it show. I mean, because he was just awful, and Klopp made mention of that in his post-game pressers. But Sammy, I want to start with you and get your perspective on this entire match. The formation, how it kind of came out, looked like a true 5 at the back to try to control the width a little bit, although Salah played so good. But your thoughts on the match?
Well, the only thing that, and you guys know that I'm far from an expert on tactics. My only thing today, I looked at Pints, and I said, we've just got to find a way to expose Dewan Lovren. So that was my first thing. And Tim nailed it. I mean, I need to let him wax poetically, because he talked about Trippier and Aurier starting, and he absolutely nailed Aurier needed to be on the left to control Mohamed Salah, which he was really the only Liverpool player that had a decent game. I mean, everything they did today was really through him. But I think just to encapsulate today for me, it was a confident performance where from the moment go we looked so comfortable in what we were setting out to do. Everybody played great. I love seeing Dele deep. I love him being, not just having a flick on or, a shot on goal. He was really part of build-up. It was fun watching him and Eriksen kind of drop back with Winks. Winks was I hate to say it, Modric-like. It was just a joy to watch today. So I'll turn it over to Tim, because he was just nailing all these sort of strategic and tactical things that we did today.
What about you, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, strategically, tactically, I talked with Sammy before the match, because you know how he gets all nervous and starts freaking out about things.
Dyer was out, I thought we were doomed. I thought we were going to get thrashed today.
Sam comes in he says, I don't even remember. You just came in bitching. And you were all upset, trying to put me in a bad mood. And I was like, I saved the seat for you, and you're already doing this, and we haven't even kicked off. But
said I have a bad feeling.
Yeah. But, I mean, last time we played them, the thing that killed us was the speed on their right side. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, it was Sane playing, and it was against Davies. Mane. Sorry.
Sane.
We were talking fantasy football earlier.
Yeah,
and
we were.
Kenny has Sane, so he was going on about him. I have that in my head.
Easy mistake to make.
Sane, Mane. But Mane was the one who killed us last time with his speed. And so I said this time, we have to control that. Granted, he's not playing, but Salah's still got speed. And, you put Vertonghen out there, I think you're risking him against that speed, especially after – I mean, he's done admirably at left back these last couple of games, but you saw – and we'll get into the Real Madrid match, but Hakimi, that speed, he had some trouble with it. And so I didn't think you could put him out there. Davies, probably not fully fit coming back from his illness. I don't know if you want to throw him out there. And once again, I mean, that's where we got killed last time against Liverpool. So
or Danny,
I thought you
for
had
that matter, right?
And yeah, Danny not fully fit. I mean, we've all seen Danny. He's packed on the pounds. So who knows if he has the same speed right now, if he's still working back to it. So I thought you had to put Aurier out there. I mean, that was the main thing you had to control. We could not get beat on that right side of the pitch, and Aurier did a great job with him. I mean, really, that's where their only threat, like Sam was saying, their only threat came from Salah the whole match. And so I don't think we would have controlled that if, you had Davies working back his fitness or Vertonghen over there on the left. So I think it was a good move by Poch. And also, he played the two up top again, like we did against Madrid. He played Sonny up there with Harry, and I think it's opened up a lot of opportunities for Harry not being that lone striker. We saw in prior matches, Swansea, and I think Bournemouth did this also, they put 3 center backs there just to neutralize Harry. You have your lone striker up top going against 3 center backs, and there's not really much for him to do, and he was kind of held at bay in those matches. But when you bring in that extra attacker, it opens it up more for him. So you've seen these last 2 matches, he's had some more chances, and I think it's working out really well. I mentioned it last pod that we might need to try having 2 up top when these teams sit back against us. I mean, I wasn't expecting to go 2 up top against Madrid and Liverpool because we don't expect them to sit back, but it's working. I like seeing all these different options from Pochettino.
It kind of started with Llorente midweek, right? Going up front with Kane, and then came out today, and I kind of glanced over to you guys that you two were sitting at the bar itself, and I was like, are we doing like a 4-3 or 4-1-3-2 or something like that? Like we're playing 2 strikers again, and you corrected me on the back line, Tim. when we're doing this, and Sam, I'm going to start with you on this. We're putting an extra attacker basically up front, and we still have 3 midfielders that are attacking. That leaves your central defensive midfielder as a lone rover for the entire mid defensive area of the park. Not only for Real Madrid, but also for Liverpool. That player is Harry Winks.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? A 21-year-old
good
kid.
Has he been, Sam?
Been terrific. And, it's astonishing what a week he's had. I mean, to get a Champions League start is a remarkable feat for any 21-year-old. To be given such confidence, to be given the nod to do that at the Santiago Bernabeu in an unbelievably important match. I mean, that match will go down, and again, even as a draw, is one of the most important sort of inflection point matches in the history of the club. This was the group of death. This was arguably, the most important Champions League fixture. All eyes were on it, and he was entrusted to do a job, and he was marvelous midweek. And, to your point, left on an island, and never once today did he look uncomfortable. And he did something today, Kenny, that really kind of made the hairs on my arm stand up, and I was like, jabbing at Tim when this happened, because I think it was the last goal where he made the pass, and it's so easy to miss, but he makes the first forward pass that basically ultimately creates that goal. There was another assist ultimately before Kane scores. But it reminded me of Modric. And I hate to, I want to tap the brakes a little bit, but he's an engine, and he gets the ball moving, and he doesn't piss about with it, and he sort of sets the tempo. And it's just, it says so much about him. It says so much about our manager. And, we've had the week that we had with so many key established players out. It's been terrific. And it's amazing that we've got one of our own really at the heart of what we've been, all the good things that happened this week.
It's interesting that you throw a little bit of a Modric comparison to him, because Tim, long and short of it is, he's a central defensive midfielder or a center mid, or however you want to define it, but he plays in that defensive role. Yet he's not built like Dyer and Dembele and Wanyama. He's built more like an attacking style midfielder, and because of maybe the extra pace that he carries that those players don't, but the lack of strength that maybe makes you worry, but we haven't really seen that be any kind of a crutch for him at all.
No, not at all. I mean, I love the player that he's becoming. I love the player that he can become. He's class. He's one of our own. And like what Sam was saying, he doesn't piss about. He gets the ball, and it's one touch. He gets his head up. He's moving it quickly. And if he hasn't moved it quickly, it's because he's taking it himself, driving up the pitch. He is very direct, and in these last matches, he's kind of has played by himself in that position, and I think he's done great, kind of controlling everything, not having to worry about another center defensive mid to kind of pair up with. He gets to control it all himself in the middle of the pitch and start the play. And talking about being a little smaller in stature, I mean, with the brick shit house that you like to refer to it as behind him,
yes,
the 3 center backs, I mean, he doesn't have much to worry about.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Do you think that communication, especially maybe from Toby and Jan to the midfield, is help keeping him positioned properly, or do you think he's just simply relying on his own instinct at times? Sam, what do you think?
Well, I think it's probably more of the former, right? Knowing that you've got those guys back there, and those aren't just guys, right? I mean, you've got the most capped player in Belgian history. You've got him partnering up with a guy that he's been playing with for most of his professional and certainly international career.
Right.
So that obviously gives him a lot of confidence. But I think the development that he's had under Pochettino has allowed him to start really believing in himself. And I'll go back to the comment about comparing him to Modric. But if you're going to say to him, okay, name a player or two that you're going to emulate your style on, well, the physical similarities are
Scott Parker.
Deep. Yeah. Well, you know what? I think it's a combination of 3. I think it's a combination of like a Scotty Parker or Luka Modric and Iniesta. So, Modric was just, I mean, he was a joy. It was just phenomenal to watch. I mean, it he's in my mind the best midfielder in the world. And just watching how he turns and shields the ball, and you see some of that developing in young